Thank you, Velvet. Everybody give a shout out to Velvet one more time, please. Yeah, so I'm not going to give you like the long story about my life. You can check all that online. I'm here to be a resource for everybody that needs. Feel free to ask me questions, how I got started or how I can help you. You know, because this is what it is. Like, people help me along the way, so I'm here to get that knowledge, pass it on. So, any questions, anybody? Oh man, Rain. How long did it take me to get to where I am? Man, I'm still working to get to where I want to be. So that's how you gotta look at it, right? Never get satisfied and comfortable where you are or where you have arrived, because you learn something new every day. So, but I've been doing this for a long time, you know. Probably just like you as a young person, this music kind of just hit you, right? It's just something that in my life that no matter what my parents may have wanted me to do, or maybe me trying to run away from the music, it just kept coming back into my life. So I just accepted and embraced it and realized how I can utilize music as a tool to help others. Music is very powerful, right? So words and thoughts can become your reality, right? So you gotta watch what you say and the energy you put out in the world, because you got young people, as you can see here, they listen to music. Like, music is the most easiest way to get to anybody in the world. I always tell people, your name is in rooms around the world that you may never even visit. Right now, you have music being played thanks to the internet, right? So, yeah, I've been doing it for a long time now, but yeah, I keep going. That what keeps me inspired to keep going. What's up?
Where is it that you want to be?
Where is it I want to be?
Yeah.
I want to be next to Velvet. We got the big studio / center where we can definitely help the youth out. Because I'm a community person, right? So I always go back and always work with the youth. Also, youth that don't have access to the resources. I'm one of the guys that I don't mind going there, you know what I mean? Even if it's supposed to be an unsafe neighborhood or whatever, I don't care, you know what I'm saying? Because there's talent everywhere. I try to run the world, right? So I go to Jamaica a lot, and I go in these communities, man, because there's so much talent just everywhere, right? So a lot of people can't afford it. They don't even know what a studio is, let alone pay for studio time. So I have a mobile setup. So I work at different studios, but like I have my setup. So as an artist, as you can see, you record, right? So always have your setup portable, man, because I travel a lot. So anywhere I go, any flight in the country, I have my setup with me. I'm just ready to record. So I go to a lot of these neighborhoods. Once I have electricity, I'll just go set up in the house and I'll record, or on the street or whatever. So it's very important that I have when I get back. So having that facility, that means the more to me than having, like, you know, obviously farmland, and as you see what's going on now, it's important to own real estate and land, right? But definitely, and if you can grow your own food, shout out to Food Child, she knows what's up. If you can grow your own food, because you don't know what's going to happen, right, in the future. But definitely a space where I can record people like you, because you never know. I always look at like if I can affect a young person's life like that and change their possible tax bracket, let's say, where they can make some money off their craft, they can probably go back to their community and help another 10 or 100 people. So that's how I look at it. That's why I'm always going to work with young talent as opposed to trying to chase people that have a name already, like you know, the bigger artists. So yeah, that's kind of what I want. You know, any other questions? If you ask anything, feel free to ask. She's a great singer too. You can ask her, well, as long as you know they're allowed, you can ask her.
But they all kind of, most of them have to do with this for right now.
Right.
Like, a lot of people who would invest in musical projects that are not musicians, that are not going to be part of the creative process, they want ownership or some points, but in points that on paper define it as though they were part of the creative process, so they're not own it, that they created it. I feel like that shouldn't be. Do you find it, is that changing at all? That people are being more like the way other businesses would be? Like if I had a cupcake company, they're not going to own, if somebody invested in my company. They're not gonna own my recipes. They don't have a ticket to that secret sauce recipe that's involved. But for some reason in music they do, and it's like even just to ask, even just to say, well, no, I don't want that, but you can have like I don't know a few years or get creative with what you have, like any other business. Do you see that changing? Do you like how do you deal with it when people want like to own part of your stuff because okay, yeah, that's one. And then
it's definitely changed because like someone like Rain, he can just make a song and he can put it on SoundCloud and next thing you know, it can blow up or he can put it on his distributor. I don't know if you use DistroKid or Too Important. Okay.
No, I'm not talking about when you put it on your own market. I'm talking about when you actually go.
No, I agree. I'm getting there. So essentially, he is the owner of his art, right? What you're saying is kind of like the old guard, the old model of the major label, right? Where they invest whatever millions or hundreds of thousands, and then they're the publisher, right? So a lot of times when I talk to artists out there, you got to sign up to ASCAP or BMI, your performing rights organization, as a composer, but also as a publisher. A lot of them don't even know that. A lot of times with artists, they just send me their composer number, and they don't realize that, yo, you're essentially the label now. You're the publisher when you start out as an independent. And then when you get to that point as a major label, you want them to be a partnership. Like you said, you don't want it to be, all right, they invest some money and they have 100% ownership, whatever, right? You have to, your intellectual property at this point, with technology the way it is, I don't think that a major label should own 100% of your music. Now, you get what you negotiate. Everything's negotiable, right? So if a label's coming to you, I often tell artists this, having 100% of something that's going nowhere is, don't get too stubborn and caught up in that. If you don't know how to market or promote your product, sometimes it's not bad to give up some equity in your project if an investor or someone that's smart in terms of or knowledgeable in marketing and promotion, say for example like a Velvet, right? If Velvet knows how to market and promote, so I would be, but she's more respectable to the artists and the arts, where she's probably not going to do 100% of everything just because she puts like say I don't know how much money in, right? But you shouldn't. It depends. Everything's negotiable. Me personally, I put all my own stuff. I used to have the mindset like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get signed by a major, or I'm gonna be saved by a major. But it's like, I'm to the point now, it's like, nah, man, we do it ourselves, you know? You can negotiate, you can partner with somebody, but it all depends when you negotiate. I wouldn't, me personally, like someone like you, I wouldn't do that. Like you're a brand, you know? Like people know you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like, what I want to get to is private.
Yeah.
The private people come privately.
The investors.
They have the old mind.
Old mindset.
Because there's no other business model for them to go
Right.
so they automatically want to publish. And it's like forever.
But what, yeah, it should be forever, everything should be limited, there should be time frames on everything. And ask, what are they willing to do? Like, I would have an itemized sheet, all right, let me see, if I were to give you 100% ownership, what does that look like, right? And I need you can't just give me a bag. I just need to know what is your network, right? Because I know so many artists that like, they'll pay a gang of money, where they say you need supposedly over 100,000 US, some say 250,000 to break a single, to be on radio, billboard, everywhere. And I've seen people pay that money, and it just didn't pan out. I've seen people pay hundreds of thousands for features. Like I had this couple artists I know, they were just getting Lil Wayne features and all these different features from these major artists, and it still didn't break them, right? So first and foremost, the music has to have, it just has to not just sound good, but it has to have an energy. It has to have an energy that is going to resonate with people, right? So it depends. Always, in terms of music, I would say always have a listening group, or I always do like listening events or parties before, just to get, because sometimes we're musicians, we're stuck in our mind, we're like, oh, this is fire. I'm gonna put this out, this is gonna go platinum. And that's not the case all the time. Even if 1 million people see it, that doesn't mean 1 million people will like it, you know? So, but always have a close knit. I always say, like, I have a group of like 10 haters, right? They're my hater friends. And then I send it to them first, and just to get their feedback. And then once I get that feedback and I know, okay, I'm back like 50%, at least 50% out of the 100, then I'll go in and I look towards investment if need be. In terms of that, your question, everything's negotiable. How strong you feel about your music, I would give it 100%. At this point in time, you got to show me. For me to give you 1% equity in my song, you got to put some money, or you got to show me your network. Because everything's negotiable. Like I break bread with artists all the time. Like I share the master. When I work with artists, I'm not trying to hold the master. You know what I mean? But I'll open the network to them to get the music out. Because like music is a thing. It's not guaranteed. Nothing really. They say nothing like guaranteed supposedly except what death and taxes, whatever. But like music, it's a tough. I always tell investors too. And some investors want a quick return, and I'm like, if you trying to get your $1 billion investment back from streaming and downloads, you gonna wait a long time. So we have to have a strategic plan of how we get this money back, and that's where I always tell artists, look into sync and licensing for your music, right? Go hit up go check these film, go to Netflix. You watch Netflix all day, you're on Amazon. Go see who the music supervisor is of your favorite TV show or your favorite film. Go look for them online, IMDb, find their name. Go look for on Instagram, Facebook, online. They have websites, and go for that approach to make money. Because streaming alone is not going to get investors money back. So they're looking at it from hard ticket sales. They're looking at it from concerts like a Rolling Loud. They're looking at it from licensing, like investors getting into money. And getting into music to make money. I always tell people, music, don't get it twisted with all the streaming. Music is a very lucrative business if you know how to approach it. But if you're going in with the standpoint, I'm gonna make a song, I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and hope it goes platinum, or hope I stream $1 billion, that's not gonna work. And even if you do stream $1 billion, you're not even making $1 million, then you're off $1 billion. You're making probably 6 figures if you're lucky, you know? And then you have to know how to receive that money as well, you know? But I don't think you should give up your ownership of your music, because as you see, like a lot of these people are selling their catalogs, right? You look at like Justin Bieber sold his catalog for like $200 million, and I think Timbaland, I don't know what Timbaland said. A lot of these, you hear a lot of these crazy deals of over $100 million where they sold their publishing, which is the publisher side of their catalog, right? Because they're trying to get a quick investment right now. But I always say, like, in terms of artists, that's our publishing is our social security. That's our retirement fund. So don't be so quick. For you to, give a percentage that away, like they got to be saying something. You know? I would do it. I agree. But another perspective too, right? You're creative. You're super creative. I know that. So I always look at it too, like, all right, I'll give you these songs. You can work these songs, but you only have these songs. I can create another 100 songs within a week, you know? So I'll give you a test run with maybe 5 to 10 songs of this album, and let me see what you're doing. And if you bring some income in that I'm satisfied with, all right, maybe we can negotiate on some more songs. That's one perspective of how to do it, you know? Because we create songs all day. So that I look at it like, man, but also every song too, you have to look at every song also as, it's tough because it's the balance of creative and the balance of business. Like, shout out to Raina's mom, right? His mom said she likes this one song and Rain likes the one song, but I get why, right? But you have to have that balance. So it's good that your mom's there. Listen to your mom, so knows what you're talking about, right? Because that song is definitely a radio song, radio-friendly song. But at the same time, when we create music, you got to think of every song itself as its own business or its own stock that can go out and to make you money, a certain amount of money. Some make more than others. Like, look at Beyonce, her most popular stock maybe is, which song you think? Like, Diva, like maybe it's one of the highest ones, and, or, like, Cowboy Card. And that's also, too, the new stocks. The newest songs that are hot will run maybe a little more than the older songs. But then you got some legacy songs that they're making more than any of these new artists, right? So you got to approach every song as a stock. How much money can it get, bring back to you? How much value is it? Like, is this song, like, say, for example, I have stocks, I trade stocks, right? So, is this song Apple? Is this, or I should say, no, I don't want to say that word. I'll say Amazon, I'll say in the video before the split, right? So, is this song the video, which at one point before the split, I think the video was at like 2,000 per share? Or is this song Snapchat, which is like $10 a share right now, right? So that's how you got to kind of approach your songs. Some songs will be more lucrative than other songs, but you can always make a new song if you're the artist. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, another question? Any other questions?
What platform have you seen the most growth of all your members?
Platform in terms of
Social media.
my most growth? Okay, well, yeah, I'm not the guy that posts a lot, so I'm probably not the best test subject for that. But one thing I'll tell you is consistency is always key, right? But in this whole social media world, you don't want to get trapped at the same time. You know, you don't want to. Are you living for yourself? Or are you living for the people through your social media? So you got to think of that as well. But I'll probably say first and foremost my platform. So always direct people to your website, because you don't own Facebook, you don't own Twitter, you don't own YouTube, none of that. And you always see whenever like YouTube's down or Instagram's down, it's like everybody's in a frenzy, right? But and that can happen possibly, or they get sold or bought out. Like, look, I don't know if you're familiar, like you're probably younger, but look what happened to MySpace, right? And people put so much time into MySpace, right? But we didn't own it. So always focus on your website first, build your platform, and then people can trickle in from the social medias. But for me personally, aside from my website, I'd probably say Instagram. Yeah, so people love the visuals and the music at the same time. So Instagram, TikTok, those are probably the best way. And then see where you can monetize, right? So with TikTok, if you reach a certain amount of followers, you can live stream, you can open. I think you can receive money. So yeah, go with that. And especially if your audience is there, go where you're. I always tell people go where you're appreciated, not accepted. Always do that. Another question? No, ask us that. No one's asking. Go ahead, man. You can talk. I think it's listen. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think.
Got a question? All right.
What's your top marketing strategy?
My top 3 marketing strategies? All right. Well, number one, of course, love it. Number one, marketing strategy. But
Why is that?
Why
is that?
Because you're here. One thing I read about Velvet, like in this digital world with bots and all these fake ghost accounts, we don't know what's real, right? I don't even know if these views I'm getting are real, or the streams or these likes I'm getting. But this is real. To my knowledge, unless I'm here on AI and I don't know, but this is real right here, right? So getting in the community, even if you're on the socials, you still gotta go out in the streets and meet the people. That's never gonna change. Because these people are gonna come see you perform. You know what I mean? They're the ones buying the tickets. So this is real. This is probably always word of mouth, and in person is the best form of marketing. Always. That's never gonna. I don't care where it happens, where technology takes us. That's always gonna be number one. For me, number 2, I would probably say is Google Ads. So I got a guy that runs my Google Ads account, runs my YouTube, and he runs that in connection with my music whenever I have a release. So that's definitely important. And another one, which I have people that you guys need that provide you services that I can refer you to. Another guy, he works the meta accounts, the meta marketing, right? But he's sick with it with whenever you have a new song, he can run up your streams on YouTube and Spotify or else, but officially, right? Organically with ads, but they're real views and real numbers, right? So those are probably for you artists coming up aside, like I said, being a person. Google Ads and Meta, their marketing is pretty solid. So I would definitely recommend it.
How much have you spent on promotion over the time of the video?
Over the time of the career? Yeah, that's a conversation right now. It never stops. It never stops. But the key thing is though, when you're doing this make sure it's tough, right? You don't like. I love the analytics, but if you're paying all this money, you want to try to get as much data as you can. So So emails, actual phone numbers you can get, but don't stand as phone numbers like they'll block you quick, right? So the emails, get all the socials. But I always tell people, target, you get your fan base, definitely, but also target people that they have their own fan base as well. So target influencers, target the radio people. You know what I'm saying? Meet up with some of these radio people. She mentioned 99 Jams. I just was at, a friend of mine did a podcast. He had people on the panel and like DJ Nasty was there. So go to these panels where these DJs are at that can play your music for thousands of people, possibly millions. You know? So yeah, I would definitely say you got to network with people that have the network, right? We can network with one person. Yeah, we build our career one fan at a time. So how do we get to multiples? You know, always have that interaction where you meet. Anytime I do a show, like I'll sit down and I'll go after the show and I'll literally shake everyone's hand, sign autographs, whatever, because you don't want to turn away that one fan that could possibly go online and just yo, he wouldn't even shake my hand and take a picture or meet me, you know. So every fan is important, but go after people that can help promote your music more than just one person at a time.